And a big good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Gantry TV, your destination for Tuesday night entertainment. It is the return of the RTA Formula V Ireland Series, round number 5, which takes place at Michon Road, Atlanta. We have had 4 very entertaining weeks of action, and it's only going to get better because we have another hectic evening ahead of us, and hectic is one way to put it. It is the shorter variation of Road Atlanta here tonight. But before, of course, we go through the details of the track, we always run you through our journey of what's been a fabulous season so far in our quest to turn a sim racer into a real racer. So last week at Brands Hatch's Indy Circuit, we fly stateside across the Atlantic Ocean to Road Atlanta, where we are running their short variation as well. 2.830 kilometers, just short of 2 miles, 10 corners with a race lap record of from Tyson Styles of 37 seconds. We will be just over the 1 minute mark here tonight, but not too long a lap time indeed. But it is a very famous circuit here in Braselton, Georgia, located 35 miles north of Atlanta and only minutes away from the Chateau Elan, a famous 4-star restaurant that I'm sure none of the drivers really attend because, well, they throw all their money at race cars, but that's a separate issue. But it is a famous venue. It's a beautiful sunny evening, something that we haven't seen for quite some time here in Ireland, with a beautiful track temperature of 34 degrees. The tyres won't necessarily be overheating, but they won't be nice and cool either. 20 degrees air temperature. My name's Evan Dalton. It's a pleasure to be with you. We have Ronan Hederman behind the scenes. The man you can see on the left-hand corner of our little commentator's window, Kevin Galvin, is off gallivanting again this evening. So no Kevin for tonight's broadcast, but he'll be back with us next week when we head back over to another European venue. But a lovely look at tonight. You can see the practice times on your left-hand side. Some slightly skewed, such as that from Peter McCann, as per usual. Just to run you through our timing column, for those of you who are new, the yellow boxes on the left-hand side are those competing for our RTA Formula V Ireland scholarship. And if you are new joining us and wondering what's this scholarship he keeps going on about, to give you the basics of it, we are going to put 3 of those drivers on the left-hand side with the yellow boxes beside their name in a Formula V car for the season coming ahead. And the winner will get to do a double-header weekend, and then second and third will get to do a race each. But we have lots more prizes as well on offer for this season, such as free entries for next season for those who aren't competing in the scholarship, as well as plenty more that is soon to be announced. But it is still intense racing for both the championship and for both the scholarship, so you're in the right place, folks, if you want a good hour and a half of entertainment. Last week we had a bit more traditional RTA virtual motorsport, to be brutally honest. We had Team TDR resurgence to the top with Mr. Doherty watching in attendance. Sean McClemens took the win in heat number 1. Then it was a friend of the team, Jordan Kelly, who won heat number 2 and heat number 3 in fine fashion indeed, picking up your Gantry TV driver of the day as well. Make sure to get your votes in towards the end of heat number 3, folks. But before we get you into the championship standings, great to see the chat back active again. Hello, Chris. Hope you're keeping well, and welcome back to Mr. Hollywood from his adventures in Thailand. So, welcome back, Johnny, to your regular Tuesday night viewing. But championship standings then slightly skewed because we still have drop rounds, of course, to take into consideration, but it is Travis Mowini who is at the top of them on 234 points. That is including a 15-point penalty. But the thing about Travis is he has a big drop round to take because his lowest scoring round so far was night 3 in Silverstone, and he picked up a penalty on that evening, meaning he's not allowed to use it as a drop round. If you pick up a penalty, that is immediately invalid for a drop round. So Travis is going to take a bit of a hefty hit when it comes to the drops. Kamjo Chukwa is in second position with Conor Mealia in third. Good week last week for Conor. Didn't quite get on the podium, but got some steady results, a fourth and a fifth. Brandon McGaughan, then I hate saying this, but because we're racing on an American track, our most winningest driver is in fourth position. The driver with the most wins, us with proper languages say. Jack Wynn then in fifth position. Jan Zoutevella in 6th, ahead of Harvey Dara in 7th. Kevin Joyce then fell down to 8th after a bit of a disappointing week, despite taking pole position last time out in Brands Hatch. Dylan McClemens finally breaks into the top 10 for the first time this season. He is in 9th, tied on points with Peter McCann in 10th position. I believe Kevin is on 181 points, not 142, just if you're wondering what the discrepancy is there and what magically has happened to Kevin. And then in terms of our scholarship-eligible drivers, top 2 remain the same. Travis Mawhinney on top, Cam Chugwa in 2nd. Jack Wynne is in 3rd. Jan Zoutevella in 4th. Then it is Kevin Joyce. Ken Doyle in a lofty 6th, but a disappointing week last week for Ken. He'll be looking to make amends in the Link Motorsports machine. You can see on the right-hand side. Then it's Lawrence de Salzwa in 7th. Robbie Callaghan in 8th. Dermot Toomey in 9th. Dara Halley in 10th position. But when you see those names, folks, you might be thinking that is the top 10. It's not. We have an interview process as well. All the incidents are taken into consideration. But, I mean, if you're doing well in the point standings, you've got a very good chance of making our lists of finalists. After next week, we will be cutting the list down to 10 drivers, and they will be your top 10 finalists heading into the last 2 rounds. But this is the start of qualifying, folks. Find some clear track. Because I can't, none of these drivers can. Find yourself a little bit of clear track to try and get a push lap in. That's Ken Doyle getting past Kevin Joyce, who you can see, and there's Kevin Joyce in what he wants to become a famous Formula V livery in the Crayola. And we're on board here with Kevin now, who took part in his first track day yesterday in Mondello Park, driving a Track Days.ie Mini. And he had a great time indeed, but he was straight home, straight on the simulator, practicing for tonight. So into turn number 1, absolutely flat to the mat. You want to just about glance that curve on the right-hand side and get a great run up the hill towards turn number 3. Tricky corner this. You just want to lift off the throttle and roll the car through the corner. No braking required. A little bit wide at the apex there for Kevin. You can cut a little bit more of that curb on the right-hand side. Now, you are flat all the way through these S's, which are quite difficult in a GT3 car, even though they are flat in them. And then you would usually go up to that left-hand corner. It's a bit of a tricky braking zone. We're on the short circuit here, so we are taking the sweeping right. The shorter line through there is to hug the inside, but crucially, you got to just stick in the slipstream here. So wherever the car in front goes, you go. So make sure you stick into that toe. The toe tonight, folks, 1.8 seconds approximately is where you can pick it up from. Then into the chicane. Look at that curb on the right-hand side. Barrel down on the brakes just after the start of it, but Kevin had to brake that a little bit earlier, and you're looking to clip the two yellow and blue curbs on the inside and outside. Kevin, unfortunately, just running a little bit wide. Then flat for the final 2 corners. Just use a little bit of that curb on the right-hand side to minimise your run to the line, and that is a good lap from Kevin Joyce. And they'll put him 3rd spot, but it was the man in front of him, Conor Melia, who went that bit quicker. So Conor Melia goes quickest of the bunch so far with a 10.3, but a good lap, and you can be below that 1.10, you can be in the 1.9, so expect a 1.9 from someone here this evening. But how are you supposed to find space? It's absolutely manic. It's got to be a perfect slipstream needed to take pole position here tonight, and pole is going to be so crucial because there could be a big incident heading through that turn number 3 in the opening lap, and if you're down the back, there's always a higher chance that you could be wiped out. We're looking at a man who took his first race win last week, Sean McClements. They're the 3rd car in this train, with his younger brother Dylan in front of him as per usual in the blue number 47 Formula V, running the scheme that took him his first pole position in Kyrgyzstan last season. A true testament to the fact that sim racers can become real racers, which if you couldn't tell is the little cliche we're working off this season. Here's Jan Zoutevella, our resident Dutchman in the field, and doing very well indeed. He is going for his national licence in the next few weeks, so needs to get time on the sim and the real track, and he's able to go to what was 5th position, but he's now falling down the order. There's Cam Chugwa in the Bullet Bill car, just dropping down. Now side by side the 2 yellow coloured machines, who always seem to find each other while out on track. Now we're on board with our championship leader, Travis Mawhinney, and you can see heading through turn number 3, Sean McGoldrick had a little bit of a check-up, so Travis has to have a little bit of a check-up as well. Travis is dialed in at this track. I was following from him for a little bit last night in practice. He can run a lap in clean air here, but there's not going to be much clean air laps, especially when you have 30 cars at a fairly short variation of Road Atlanta. Dylan McClemens goes to the top. 1:10.017 is the time for the younger of the 2 McClemenses, and I'm going to hope he had someone in front of him for that lap, giving him a slipstream. If that's a clean air lap, then, well, the prophecy of Dylan McClements that we've lived off for the last year in RTA is well and truly true. But I think he had Peter McCann in front of him for most of the lap. Now we're looking at Jack Wynn, our one of our content creators, and our little inter-content creator battle. That is a total fictional fight that we've generated here on Gantry TV. But Jack Wynn, Lawrence de Soswa, Ken Doyle and Kevin Joyce, the four who are making content and videos from the race car. And it is great to see. But it is Jack Wynn and Kevin Joyce who've been doing the best there. Kevin stayed up till 4 a.m. After Silverstone to edit his video. I mean, I'm not sure why, really, but I understand the flow you get into with editing. But no, couldn't be me. Now we're looking at Jordan Kelly, who is on the simulator once again this evening. Well, I mean, the purple lap time probably stood for that, and Jordan is the first to go under the 110s. It is a 109.8. Jordan, who has been racing on controller for probably the last 3 or 4 seasons of RTA. He's back on the sim for a second consecutive week, which is a lucky break. Says he was supposed to be heading to Wexford for work, but it got cancelled because of the weather. So Jordan, the only man on the island who is thankful for the constant rain that we've got the last few weeks, because it means he can pump in the fast lap times here in RTA. I'm going to bring in the man behind the scenes for the first time tonight, Mr. Ronan Hederman, who always has a few words of inspiration for you folks watching at home when it's me on my own here. Ronan, I imagine you're looking forward to this one as a race fan, but not so much as a broadcast director, because this could get pretty hectic.
Yeah, but I think the cool thing about this one is that it's only got that one braking zone, so hopefully it shouldn't be full of carnage. But again, with it being a complete another draft fest, it's probably going to be fairly interesting. I just received a message from a Peter McCann saying, "Mention me popping Evans cherry," and then next message in Mondello.
Yeah, I did my first proper lap of Mondello yesterday as a passenger of Peter McCann in Adam Dowling's Clio.
I
That
was
message
shocked.
makes it sound a lot worse than it makes that sound a lot weirder than it was.
I was
Yeah, I had my
shocked that was your
proper
first
lap
ever
of
lap.
Mondello.
Crazy, crazy.
But
Yeah,
you
I
don't
couldn't
own a
believe it.
race car.
Yeah, but still, I'm just surprised you haven't been
Well,
out
no,
at, I don't know,
technically I
fundraiser or
walked a
anything.
lap during COVID.
Oh, that's true. I was there for that.
I walked a lap during COVID, so that counts, I guess. But no, yeah, it was quite fun. I thought I was going to be like a lot more nervous, but I was kind of okay. Peter was giving it a bit of gusto as well, because in his own words, he was popping my cherry. I don't know why I've repeated that, because it kind of gives me the shivers a little bit. But yeah, if anyone would like me to take their race car for a spin around Mondello, I'm more than welcome to. So, you know, if you're looking for a driver for the season, no experience. Oh, sorry, Johnny is correcting me. Johnny did actually take me round, but he took me in the
In the
medical
safety
car on the
car.
national.
Yeah,
In the medical car. Johnny, I have to say, like, to be fair to him, he asked me the same thing as Peter, is this your first lap or whatever? And I was like, yeah, it is. So he kind of held back a little bit more than maybe the medical car should. And he was like, right, we'll give this a bit of gusto. This was only on the national. We were doing the full international yesterday. And Johnny horsed it down the main straight. He's like, right, we're gonna get this. And then Niall O'Mara spun at turn number 1. So we had to slow down, and then another driver spun at turn 2, so we didn't get the full push lap in. But yeah, sorry, Johnny, you did No, I'm not repeating what Peter said, but Johnny did technically break the mold. Let's put it. Let's continue with a few chat shout outs. Ronan Doherty in the comments saying, "I say Hollywood had some adventures in Thailand." Oh, where's this going? The last time me and Kevin totally lost it on a gantry stream was Road Atlanta as well, actually, in the LMP2. So I see where the night is going. Johnny's saying Maeve wants to mention as well. Hello, Maeve. Johnny's significant other who's watching. Good thing I didn't say Johnny popped my cherry, then that would have been a bit weird for Maeve to hear. But I've said it now, who cares? Ronan Doherty saying, Melia made a meal of that Sector 1, mid-9 on the cars. I see what you did there. And hello to Father Damon Trittle, who I really hope is an actual priest watching this from the altar or something like that. As there goes Brandon McCaughan round into the wall after going quickest in qualifying. There is that mid-9 that that Brandon wanted, or that, sorry, Ronan said Connor could get 109.5. That was the lap Brandon got. Is anyone going to beat that? I'll be very surprised if they do. 109.5, quite a quick lap round here. I think Jordan Kelly just about got a 109.8 in practice last night, I want to say. Oh, yes, he actually is a priest. Good evening, Father. Hope you're keeping well. Apologies for the crude jokes a few moments ago, but good evening to all of your significant parish. If you'd like to give your parish lotto a shout out, more than welcome to do so. A shout out to me and Ronan's Nace, Salons, and 2 Mile House parish while we're watching, as we're only 10 minutes into qualifying. This is going to be a fun night in Catcher TV, folks. It's going to be a very fun night in Catcher TV. Last time you lost, oh no, sorry, and Ronan Doherty is correcting us as well. I'm going to have to turn off the stream chat in a moment. Saying the last time we lost, it was Brandon's MX5 livery at Donington Park. Ronan Hederman, do you remember that livery?
Sorry, I'm crying at the awkwardness here in the background. I don't. Oh, yes, I do. God damn it.
Yeah, it was Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
Just the awkwardness that Ronan is speaking about is I'm like talking to myself here. So, like, I'm making these jokes to no one and just having to giggle at them at myself to avoid the embarrassment. It's awful. It's terrible. That's the reason why no one should get
wetting it in your ear.
Father Damon says, no worries. He's a hospital chaplain in York, PA. I think that's Pennsylvania, USA. So we have a stateside viewer here tonight. A decent bit away from Road Atlanta, but Father Damon, thank you very much for joining us on Gantry TV. Johnny says, this is like community notices. He's about to read out the births, deaths, and marriages. Yeah, sure, look, send in whatever you want read out, really. And, yeah, that'll do the job. So, only... Ronan's just said something in my ear. I have no idea what he said. I just heard Travis and Jack win. But just looking at it, Camso, Travis and Jack are the only top 3 from the scholarship in the top 10 here in qualifying. I think it was something along those lines. Yeah, it was. I got a in the background. But nonetheless, I don't see Brandon's lap being beaten. I think he can go to the pits in that one. And that'll be that really for qualifying, but a very famous track here at Road Atlanta. First sort of created in 1969 by David Slayer, Earl Walker and Arthur Montgomery. It's a 750-acre plot in total. It has a really big paddock, and when the grandstands are full like that, it is an excellent place to be. Great vibe around the place for Petit Le Mans. Petit Le Mans, of course, part of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. And the most famous race of all was in 2015, dare I say, when the 911 RSR of Nick Tandy, Patrick File and Richard Lietz, apologies Richard if I've said your name wrong, they won in monsoon conditions, but you might be thinking, oh, is it just a GT3 race? No, multi-class. They beat all the LMP1s, or they had a different name for them in IMSA, but LMP1's equivalent. They beat all the prototypes due to the prototypes being on slicks, where the GT3s had a rain tire, or GTD as they're called stateside. They had a rain tire, and they were able to take the win. But the funniest thing of all about that race, folks, was the GT3s, every time there was a caution or a safety car, which there was a lot of given the conditions, they had to go back behind the prototypes and had to weave their way through prototypes. It was absolutely hilarious. But looking at the qualifying order so far, it is Brandon McGaughan, who is on top, Jordan Kelly in second, and Peter McCann in third, Dylan McClements in fourth, and Sean McClements in fifth. The last 2 weeks, folks, we are seeing a resurgence of the regulars compared to these young up-and-comers eligible for the scholarship. So that is a traditional RTA top 5, with the newest addition to RTA in that top 5 being Brandon McGaughan, who's here well over a year now. Just to put that into context, Brandon's first championship with us was in the LMP2s. But he's taken a win in the F4 Championship, took 2 wins in the British Touring Car Championship, and one in the IndyCar Series as well, did Brandon McGaughan, who has big plans ahead of him for the year. So keep an eye on Brandon McGaughan in the motorsport world. He's a bit of a curse on Kyrgyzstan as well. Every time he shows up, it gets called off for weather. So don't let Brandon at your race meeting anytime soon. 30 seconds left. Top 5 are all in the pits, and it is looking like it is going to be Brandon McGaughan who is on pole position for this one. And Brandon, despite taking wins in what seems like every week so far, that is only his second pole position of the season, took pole in Donington Park and won from the pole. It was a 1:22.305 on that day for Brandon McGaughan. It's going to be a 1:09.592, unless Sean McGoldrick can put in a blistering last sector, but without a slipstream, I doubt it. So that is your checkered flag for heat number 1. And we'll run you through the full order, folks. It is Brandon McGaughan on pole, Jordan Kelly in second, Peter McCann is in third, Dylan McClements is in fourth, Sean McClements in fifth. Camto Chukwa leading the scholarship drivers in the Maffey Esports team car, Conor Amelia in seventh, ahead of Harvey Dara in eighth, and then it is championship leader Travis Mawhinney who is in ninth. Jack Wynne lines up 10th, ahead of Tony Griffin in 11th, Dermot Toomey in 12th, and a good quality for Paolo Kishkan who starts 13th, ahead of Emma Dempsey and Sean McGoldrick. Kevin Joyce lines up in 16th, Dara O'Connor in 17th, Lorcan Walsh in 18th, Ronan Keane in 19th, and 20th position is Ross Wheatley. So then behind Ross it is LD, Lawrence de Salzwa, Ken Doyle, Lee Cogan, by the way, who I'd like to apologise to because we've called him Coogan for the last few weeks, but it is in fact Lee Cogan, Adam Carney, Jared Thornton, Jan Soutavella down in 26th, horrid qualifying for the Dutchman, Sean Smith in 27th, Paul O'Mahony 28th, ahead of Jamal Gandor and Quiveen Brennan. And the red lights are getting ready to go, folks, here for our first heat of the evening. It's McGaughan on pole, Jordan Kelly on the outside, and for the first time tonight, let's let battle commence here at Road Atlanta. Good start for McGaughan, great start for Dylan McClements, poor start for someone. I think Peter McCann has missed a gear and had to dive out of the way of the snake heading in towards turn number 1. But the yellow wheels of Jordan Kelly, hot on the heels of Ballycastle's Brandon McGaughan into the first long sweeping right-hander. Keep an eye on turn number 3 because it could get pretty hectic if one of these front runners checks up here. Brandon's got to keep it as close to flat as he can just to avoid a collision behind, and they do. Top 4 all safely through. Great start for Dermot Toomey and Paolo Kishkan. They're both up 3 positions respectively. 9 spots in Dermot's, or 9th in Dermot's case, 10th in Paolo's. And look at Dylan McClements immediately looking to make some moves here, and him and his brother are side by side. Sean out of the slipstream, but on the crucial inside line. Brandon McGaughan is going to look to try and weave his way around, and this is going to be very NASCAR-esque, I feel, in this first 10-minute sprint race. Are we going to go 4 wide on the opening lap here? It looks like we are, and Sean McClements splits the middle of the front row, and Jordan Kelly and Brandon McGaughan, as we have a little bit of blinking heading down towards the chicane, and it is in fact McClements who is in the race lead. Jordan Kelly second, Brandon McGaughan in third, Camto Chukwa is in fourth, and then Dylan McClements in fifth position. Conor Amelia now in sixth, Travis Mawhinney up to seventh. So good start for Camto, good start for Paolo, who are making 4 positions up into the top 10. But as they snake their way through, Ken Doyle's got a couple of spots from the back as well. He's now finds himself in 18th position, up 4 in towards turn number 1. They're free abreast. Kevin Joyce on the inside, and McCann's gone. Peter McCann's gone off in turn number 1, and that is a damaged VRA Racing Formula V, and unfortunately Peter McCann making contact with Jack Wynne as they went free wide into that first corner. It's our first big name out of this one so far, folks, but I guarantee you it will not be the last. The 2 best mates going side by side, almost heading up the hill, Sean McClements and Jordan Kelly. But here comes Dylan looking to make it a party, and Dylan McClements has that inside line into the chicane, which you can go free wide through. Myself, Sean McGoldrick, and I think it was Jared Thornton went free wide through there last night, just testing it to see if it's possible. You can go free wide successfully, slowly but successfully. But the 2 McClements brothers are going to go side by side here, and Sean able to pick up that curve nicely. He's got a monster of an exit. Conor Amelia finds himself in second spot. Coming down to the last lap, it's really going to be whoever's bravest on the brakes, and I very much look forward to seeing who that will be, because as we said earlier, 1.8 seconds back you can gain slipstream from, so anyone inside this top 10 is getting it. So look at this. Where do you look? I think I said it in Lime Rock that they're all like ants chasing after a Malteser. That's very much the case here as Conor Amelia's got out of shape, and Dylan McClements has just nudged the gearbox. Amelia heading down the hill from turn number 3 into the S's, and that is crucial for both their races. That bigger contact didn't come from that one. Whether it be physical contact or net code that the iRacing physics like to provide, as is that's Paolo Kishkan in a new livery. Thankfully, isn't running that one that he was running last week. If you didn't see what livery he was running last week, go back and watch our Brands Hatch stream. As Brandon McGaughan goes for the outside of 3 here, and Jordan Kelly and Sean McClemens have made contact, and once again have both come off fairly okay. No catastrophic collision there, but this is getting hairy out there. The top two making contact. Sean not really defending the inside or the outside, sort of in no man's land in the middle. Jordan Kelly was left a bit indecisive, it seemed, not too sure what to do. As Conor Melia goes for the race lead, the lead swapping hands left, right and centre, but they are free abreast into the first corner, and Jordan Kelly's run very wide, and Jordan Kelly is going to bobble his way along the grass here. Just about comes on at the right point, and they all take avoiding action. But Jordan Kelly's lost an awful lot of momentum here, and Travis Mawhinney and Dylan McClements, oh so close. Dylan diving out of it at the right point, and now Paolo Kishkan has the run on McClements, heading back up the hill. It looks downhill, but there you go, as we ride on board with the race leader. Very much an uphill section of Road Atlanta, and it is the Stefan Beloff tribute livery of Brandon McGaughan that flies his way through, just ahead of Conor Melia in the old Williams Martini livery. And then you have, dare I say, the most famous of the three, the Jordan Kelly Formula V livery. That's flying its way for the front. They're 3 wide, 2, 3, and then 3. It's like an improper football formation heading down towards turn number 10A and 10B on the original track. And Travis Mawhinney with a big block on Paolo Kishkan. I think it's 8A and 8B or something like that on the short circuit, which I'm not going to get into the rant now, but I totally agree with. Letters totally disagree with. Letters shouldn't be after corner numbers, but that's a rant for later. We have a hectic race on our hands here. Jordan Kelly once again being sent to that outside curb, heading through turn number 1, just like he was a couple moments ago. Jordan Kelly, of course, 2-time winner this season. Heat 2 and Heat 3, and there's contact behind, and it is Travis Mawhinney, the championship leader, who has gone spinning and is now tumbling down the timing tower after making contact with someone. We may have to take a look at the replay if we get a moment to do so. Ronan Hederman right on the button. We'll have a look at the Gantry TV replay now for what happened to our championship leader. He's behind Dylan McClements. He was getting a bit hairy with Paolo Kishkan heading out through the final 2 corners. Was there a little bit of a nudge between them? There certainly was, and Paolo in the Apex GP livery from the F1 movie, just moving over and collecting the championship leader. Stewards may take a look at it, but there's a lot more to lose for Travis than there was for Paolo there. Paolo, who's fighting for a chance to remain in the top 10, really making contact, and that is big for Travis Mawhinney. So here we go then. Back up to the first corner once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars in this fight. Almost 10. Emma Dempsey in a lofty 10th position. This will be Emma's best result of the season. Kevin Joyce just losing out through that corner a little. Oh, that shouldn't be like that. That's not what a Formula V looks like, just for those at home wondering. And Cam Chuck was gone for the move on the outside of Paolo Kishkan. Paolo lost a little bit of momentum there, and Kamto Chukwa and Dermot Toomey in that fight as well. There's a little bit of a schism in the field here. Dylan McClements and Kevin Joyce both sort of the outliers not in fight, as they are 3 wide heading down towards the chicane once again. And it's almost sort of institutionalized now that you expect them to be 3 wide. It's a given. And Brandon McGaughlin's got a much better exit than Sean McClements, and he is the one ahead here. Kevin Joyce up 10 spots in this race. Lee Cogan up 11. He was up 12, but he's just been overtaken by Ken Toyle, who's also up 11. Paul O'Mahony's had a good run in this one as well. He's up 10. And then Emma Dempsey on for a personal best in 10th position as it stands, with Jamal nowhere to be found. So that'll keep her in that fight, at least. Really, this could go to anyone, as we're almost in the calm phase, the calm before the storm, where they've gone all gung-ho at the start. They've settled in to this race, and then they'll go for it once again in the dying embers. But like, it could go to anyone. Like, this top 4 could very easily collide, And you could get the likes of a Kevin Joyce picking up a big result for the scholarship. You could get the likes of Paolo Kishkan picking up a big result for the scholarship. But let's see, will experience prevail as they are almost 3 wide once again in a bit of a stair formation. They're like the red arrows heading down towards the chicanes. Dylan McClements, you can see backing off already. There goes the back off from Conor Melia. Sean McClements doesn't back off. And a check up from Jordan Kelly. He tried to turn in, but almost clipped the rear wheel of the number 11. And his awareness just made him lift off our throttle, hit the brakes a little bit harder, give them the extra bit of a squeeze. But that has slowed him down and he's lost an awful lot of momentum heading for the final couple of corners. But Sean McClements and Brandon McGaughan side by side. Conor Melia is going for a very brave outside here. Obviously feels he's enough straight line speed, and Paolo Kishkan to the wall collects Kevin Joyce. And that is somehow a miracle for Kevin that he's able to continue so quickly and still pick up what might be a crucial points paying position. But it is another moment of contact for the Ukrainian Paolo Kishkan, who falls down the order. He was running very well indeed. Seems to like these high-speed American tracks. Picked up his personal best result of the season in 6th back in Heat 3 in Lime Rock. But it won't be the big result he expected in Heat 1 here at Road Atlanta. Conor Melia, who back in Heat 3 in Lime Rock led on the final lap and lost it on the run to the line. Is he going to try the same tactics? Is he going to try something different? Well, we're about to find out, because we will be getting the white flag next time by. And we have 5 of the most experienced sim racers in Ireland who are going to be fighting out for this one. Jordan Kelly, British Formula 4 champion. Sean McClements, the hotshot of Irish Formula V. Conor Melia, the Formula V Ireland B champion. Brandon McGaughan, a prototype racer coming out of Ballycastle, who has won races in GB4. And the young gun, Dylan McClements, the name on a lot of Ireland's lips, heading down towards turn number 1. This could be a great fight. And Dermot Toomey, a Tillotson Carter in the background, is looking for this one as well. But Sean McClements and Jordan Kelly side by side for the first corner. Those two want to make it just a two-way fight, but no can do as Conor Melia charges through this one as well. It is still Jordan Kelly who's in the race lead, and he has taken a 1x there potentially to try and give him a little bit of a gallop up the hill through the long sweeping right-hander. This is a test of who is bravest on their brakes. Very good brakes in a Formula V down towards the chicane. Sean McClements won Heat number 1 in Brands Hatch in a very similar position, but Brandon McGaughan has the run of his life in the number 11 down towards the chicane. Conor Melia and Dylan seem out of this one, and Brandon McGaughan goes for it. He's on the grass heading down. That's going to null his momentum a little bit. It's going to be a two-way shootout between McClements and Kelly. Sean McClements dives for the inside line. Jordan Kelly is stuck behind. Who's going to have it on the run towards the line? The 99 nicks the rear of the 47, and Brandon McGaughan is still on the outside here. You'd feel McClements will have this one if he pivots it on the curb. For the final corner comes the Blue Machine, and it's a second win in 2 weeks for the older of the two McClements. It's a great fight in the end there. Very clean indeed. Coming through for some of the minor placings. Great race for Jan Zoutavella, up 15 positions to finish 11th. Capitalised on some contact for some of the front runners to get 5th in the scholarship placings. Jack Gwynn, who had a horror one, comes home in 23rd, and then it will be Jamal Gandor who comes home in 25th, ahead of Adam Carney, Paolo Kishkan and Ronan Keane. But what a race that was. Sean McClements takes the spoils for the second time in 2 weeks in Heat number 1. Jordan Kelly comes home in 2nd, Brandon McGaughan in 3rd. Not sure what happened, Conor and Dylan, but they were sort of there and then they weren't. Dylan got caught up in a fight with Dermot Toomey by the looks of things. So very interesting to see that result pay out. But Sean McClements takes the win. Jordan Kelly in 2nd. Brandon McGaughan in 3rd. Conor Melia in 4th. Dylan McClements in 5th. Dermot Toomey in 6th. Kamsa Chukwa is in 7th. And it is Emma Dempsey, Ken Doyle, Dara O'Connor, Jan Zoutavella, Lee Cogan, Travis Mawhinney, Paul O'Mahony, Kevin Joyce, Harvey Dara, Ross Wheatley, Sean Smith, Lorcan Walsh, Gerard Thornton, who comes home in 20th position. Then it is Sean McGoldrick, Lawrence de Soswa, Jack Gwynn, Queeveen Brennan, Jamal Gandor, Adam Carney, Paolo Kishkan, Ronan Keane, Peter McCann and Tony Griffin. Second heat coming up very soon, folks, but an else sup of water needed, I think, after that one. Let's have a look at some of the comments then, shall we? Vamos Jack, he'll be looking for a bit better of a result, and that's the only one we're going to get by the looks of things until at least halfway through this second heat. Sean McClements starts on pole then. Jordan Kelly on the outside. The results of heat number 1 deciding the grid for heat number 2. If you are new with us, folks, and Gerard Thornton's jumped the start, so he'll have a drive-through penalty here. He's currently in 21st position. the top few guys you think will remain fairly neutral in this one, knowing that if they just stay with each other, they will remain up the top. But some crucial places can be made up. The likes of Jans out to Vela in 11th, the likes of Travis Mawhinney down to 13th, who are fighting for the championship. They are a bit down the order. They'd like to be up the front, battling with our experienced pros of RTA. But Jack Wynn getting ahead of Lawrence de Soswa and Paolo Kishkan, and Jaron Thornton already dropping to the back here, and he is going to drop to the back given he has that drive-through penalty. But it's the same 5 as heat number 2. Campto Chukwa looking to get involved in it. Brandon McGaughan doesn't go for the grass this time round, and look at this. Sean McClemens was in first heading onto this straight. He now has cars left, right and centre. But he's going to remain in second here. So they all just back off. We're 3 wide behind. Emma Dempsey lunges for the inside of Ken Doyle and Dermot Toomey, and Ken's been tapped. And Ken and Dermot have made contact, and Ken has gone bobbling his way off into the grass, and that is a very disappointing moment for Ken Doyle, who is really holding on for dear life in terms of scholarship consideration, and this will not go towards that too nicely. Look, have you ever seen so many Formula Vs in one straight? I'm sure the likes of Johnny has, given he's been around Formula Vs for the last 18 and a half centuries, but anyone else, have you ever seen so many of them on one straight? Like, that's crazy. 30 entrants here tonight, and all 30 still in relative contention. Well, all 30 were until Sean Smith has bowed out and Ken Doyle has been tapped. Mike asking in the chat how many races are there. We have 3 races tonight. So first one is 10 minutes. We've gone through that. This one 15 minutes, and then our final is 20 minutes. I have no idea what's going to happen in a 20-minute long race around Road Atlanta, but we are yet to see. And look at this. And oh, contact between the top 2, Melia and McCaughan. And that could have got hairy. It didn't, thankfully, unlike Connor's mustache, but both remain in the straight. Hope you like that one, Niall Lamar, if you're watching, but you probably aren't. Dylan McClements is in the race lead here. And Brandon McGaughan, I got away from Ronan for that joke, which is usually a good sign. If you say, like, there's no silence as deafening as if I say a good joke, or what's good in my mind, and there's just no reaction from Ronan. But, anyways, I digress. Dylan McClements still in the race lead. Brandon McGaughan in second. Sort of same cars up the front with the addition of Campto Chukwa here, it seems. So we've picked up one for the ride, and that is it. Let's stay on board here with Brandon. Okay, we'll immediately cut. Let's have a look behind. And now there we go. That's a nice camera. So on board here with Brandon McGaughan. This is the helmet cam. So what you would be seeing if you were really racing around Road Atlanta and tucked up right behind Dylan McClements in a Formula V would be a bit of a weird combination to happen in real life, but you never know. And Brandon McGaughan is going to pick up the side draft here, which is a little bit different in these cars compared to others. We've no engine sound, seemingly, Ronan. We're getting told in the live stream chat, just if that is something you aren't aware of, as Brandon McGaughan goes for the race lead, and that is job done. The 2 McClemens brothers now side by side, heading for the final curve, which is usually turn number 12. There is a 12A as well, but that is the longer loop that you never really see raced around here. I imagine it's for motorcycle racing, but you never really see it held around here. There is a pit lane to that left-hand side as well. In the track, now owned by IMSA Holdings. It was part of the acquisition of the Panois Motorsports Group. So IMSA now owning this Road Atlanta track, so you get to see some brilliant MX-5 racing and the sorts around here. You usually get about 113,000 maybe for Petit Le Mans weekend, which is quite a decent number for Brazelton, Georgia. Like, it's host of not much other than this racing track, but nevertheless, back to our action here. We are almost a third of the way through, 5 minutes in, and it's nothing we're not used to. 3 wide down the back straight, the longest straight here on the circuit, which usually would be almost, dare I say, 3 times the size, because the run down towards the 2 right-handers, which would be on the full layout. It's a very fun track to drive. I really enjoy racing around Road Atlanta, and there's not many complaints of it being bad. Not like Road America, say, where some people love it, some people hate it. It's sort of you either love it or you're kind of all right with it. It's certainly the general consensus, it seems, amongst our grid of drivers, but look, some of them might just be lying to me, like Jordan Kelly. did last week in Brands Hatch. Don't think I forgot, Jordan. As, we're looking at Jean Zoutavella and Travis Mawhinney. Big fight, that one. And Jack Wynn has done exceptional here as well to get back up the order. The full-time streamer, Jack Wynn, one of very few who can call content creation in Ireland his full-time employment. He's a Sim Magic ambassador, a Sim Consultants ambassador as well, I must say, or I would probably be taken out of this commentary box fairly quickly. And he actually won the Nürburgring 24 in a GT4 last year with the Lawrence Oswa's Potato Nation crew. You don't need me to talk through Potato Nation. I think all of our Gantry TV viewers will be well aware of who Lawrence is by now, making some big inroads in the sim reviewing scene, I want to say. I don't know whether Lawrence would take that as an insult or not, but certainly that seems to be his main form of content, is sim reviewing. But just looking at this fight now, and Dylan McClemens is trying to go for a run for it seems, but Brandon McGaughan was firmly with him. It's mental to think Dylan McClemens hasn't won a race yet this season. He's been the dominant force of RTA since the middle of last season. He is a 3-time champion now, won his first championship a year and 2 weeks ago. That was in the LMP2s, where he actually won that championship without winning a race. So winning races is not something that he did an awful lot of until we got to the IndyCar season, where 8 wins, 14 podiums, 2 pole positions, including 3 wins on the final evening to beat his cousin Ronan Doherty by 2 points. That was when we were really introduced to Dylan McClemens. And our fabulous sponsors, Gamerfest, well, he's won their sim racing competition twice as well. Campbell Chucko, another one who has got to the final. But Jordan Kelly takes the race lead now. Jordan, who also has a list as long as your arm of RTA achievements, multiple championships. He was sort of the big name player when I came into it, Jordan. But look, a lot of Ireland know who Jordan Kelly is. One of the friendliest faces of the paddock. Himself and his brother Owen, you'll always kind of find them there at a race weekend. They'll always be there somewhere. But nevertheless, we're 7.5 minutes into this one, and it's mental to think that we're all just kind of waiting for the last lap. Like, free wide in Formula V, in RTA Formula V, has become very normal. I think if I was in the box in Bishop's Court or Kirkestown or watching in the banks of Mondello and saw free wide, I think I would lose my rack. Speaking of free wide, this is Lee Cogan, Jack Wynn and Jean Zoutavella we're looking at. Zoutavella on the inside there in the blue and white, and that is a nudge from Sean McGoldrick, who's gone off, and Lee Cogan has done very well there to hold his brakes, make sure he didn't clip anyone. I think poor Paolo was involved in that one too, and that is disappointing for Lee Cogan, who is dropping down the order here. In terms of the championship, it's not been the greatest championship for Lee Cogan, but he's really embraced himself in the magic of RTA Virtual Motorsport. He currently sits at 21st place, but only is a couple of points behind Dara Halley, who's a series regular. So not doing too bad. It's just been a very difficult season to do well in this. You've really got to be on the money on every second here. As Emma Dempsey down the inside is Zoutavella and Jack Wynn. Big move for Emma Dempsey. Lawrence de Soswa involved in this fight as well, as is Kevin Joyce, and that is Dermot Toomey, who is just behind Kevin. Look at this. Look at this. This is hanging on for dear life racing at this point. Jean Zoutavella and LD side by side now as we look at the top 3. Once again, as question for my broadcast producer. We don't have a separate channel, so I have to just ask him on the broadcast. If there's a little crackling in my mic, let me know, because I'm hearing it a bit on my end. But oh no, we're all good. Right, grand. I'm sure there's a better way to do that, but that's the quickest, folks. And we are all about things being quick here in RTA Virtual Motorsport, as Dylan McClemens has got a bit of a gap between himself and Brandon McGaughan now. Up the front. That won't last because the slipstream is mental here. Hope you're all enjoying the live stream so far, folks. Great to see some good chat interaction in the comments. Let us know your thoughts, queries, concerns, regrets. Who knows? I have a lecturer who says that every time. I just think it's a great one-liner. So if you have any regrets for watching this, please do let us know. Two names who are both doing well in this race. we usually don't combine them together in such a positive manner, is Emma Dempsey and Jamal Gandor. Emma is in 10th here, fighting well. And oh no, don't spin, Emma. Not as I said that. That got very close between herself and Jack Wynne. And I thought Emma Dempsey was about to spin, just as I said. She was doing quite well, but Emma is doing well. Jamal has come up the order quite a bit. We certainly have 2 fights in this one, as these are just getting closer as the laps tick by. They're almost getting more confident racing wheel to wheel with each other, and it'll be great to interview the winners at the end and see what they think of tonight. Of course, we will have post-race interviews after this heat and after heat 3 as well, just during the little 5-minute gap, as Peter McCann's biggest fan, Sam of Emerald Car Shoots Photography, is in the stream chat. Hello, Sam. Hope you're keeping well. Saying, see what happened to Peter. I'm not sure what happened to Peter in this heat, but he made contact with Jack Wynne in heat number 1, and that dumped him down the order. But Peter currently in 13th, so doesn't seem to be doing too shabby. There he is. He's on the back of LD here, and he will no doubtably send this up the inside of the first possible opportunity. But we'll find out the result of that as time goes on. 11 minutes and 10 seconds into this one, out of the 15. If you are watching, folks, and you wouldn't mind popping a subscription on Gantry TV, feel free to do so. It's absolutely free. Of course, we have to big thanks to our RTA sponsors for this season, Mondello Park and Gamerfest, as Sean McClemens goes for the inside down towards the chicanes on Jordan Kelly once again. Those two fought it out for the race win last time round. As Brandon, I think, was trying to take his apex there, had to turn out of it as he saw the blue machine rip down the inside, and now Dylan is looking for this one as well. This is such good racing from these guys. Like, I think Porsche Cup is going to feel very boring compared to this when you look at this. Like, what if you're Kamto Chukwa? If you're Kamto, what do you do in that scenario? Like, Ronan in my ear saying he's backing out, he's being smart, which is 100% correct. Kamto has a lot more to fight than these guys. Like, Brandon's probably going to Portimao, home of the infamous Portimao incident in a few weeks to test. Connor has his seat sorted. Jordan will be doing the Formula Ford special races. Sean is getting his season together as well. Kamto's fighting for his future in this championship. He's leader of the scholarship drivers. If he backs out and Jordan, Dylan, Sean and Connor let their ego get the better of them, bam, into each other, into the Armco, Kamto's got himself second place. He's running a very clever race. And as Peter McCann has kind of been saying through the whole process, Kamto knows what he's doing, and he does. Kamto is playing a smart game. The rest of them are going 4 wide almost in towards the chicane, which is exactly what we want. As Evan was saying, good job Peter didn't run out of talent yesterday, Mondello. We'd have no commentator. We're not going back to this. Evan, go back to during qualifying where where Ronan read out a nice text from our good pilot. So here we go then. Jordan Kelly side by side with Sean McClemens. Not the last lap. We'll have 2 more to go. So this is going to be a little bit of a teeing up lap, shall we say, as Conor Amelia has backed out for turn number 3 and lost a significant amount of time. I wonder, is Kamto going to consider slotting himself into 5th place in this one? The crucial thing for Kamto is Travis McWhinney is just kind of behind him here in a fight with Harvey Dara, and like, Kamto wouldn't want to make a mistake or get caught up here, because he is going to might lose points there. So these guys are going 3 wide once again, down towards the chicane, and Sean McClemens, is he going to fancy leading this one? He wasn't leading on the last lap and ended up winning heat number 1, so it'll be interesting to see, do the tactics stay the same or different? Dylan McClemens is going to lead on to the final lap. Lovely move from Brandon McGaughan. Has Sean lifted off the gas there a little bit? No, not quite. He's slotted into line behind Conor Amelia though, and white flag is out here in Road Atlanta, and it is Dylan McClemens who leads onto the final lap. Jordan Kelly just staying tucked up behind him, doesn't want to do anything too rash too quickly. Sean McClemens down the inside of both McGaughan and Amelia. Jordan's ran a little bit wide there, but all in all, you don't really want to be in first place. Heading onto the back straight, 3rd place seems to be the spot to be in. Brandon, of course, was going for the race lead from 3rd in heat number 1 and ended up on the grass somehow. So let's see what happens here. Dylan McClemens heads up the hill through the famous Road Atlanta S's and then on to the short variation of the circuit right-hander. Jordan Kelly's on the inside line here, and they're all going to be towing off the back of the number 99. Here comes Brandon McGaughan once again. Where does he go? Does he pick his gap? There's almost a nudge between himself and Dylan McClemens, and Brandon McGaughan has spotted a gap here in the middle, and McGaughan has parted the seas, and he's found a beautiful bit of space to go down the inside of Sean McClemens, who's bravest on the brakes. Brandon McGaughan is once again, just like he was in Donington Park. It's a McGaughan masterclass on the final lap, not for the first time this season. He teed that one up in heat number 1. He's going to do it again. Camto Choco is going to get past Dylan McClemens here, and McClemens, who is looking for the race win, is only going to come home in 6th. Brandon McGaughan wins heat number 2. Sean McClemens in 2nd. Jordan Kelly in 3rd. Conor Melia in 4th. Camto Chukwa comes home in 5th, and Emma Dempsey has turned Lee Cogan round. We only kind of caught the tail end of that one, but that is going to give a position to Sean Smith, who was in the pits on the opening lap. So 18th is not a bad recovery for Sean Smith there, who has been driving quite well indeed. I like how Conor Melia has joined the post-race interview chat as well. So I wonder, was there a bit of drama in who got 3rd there? But Jared Thornton is going to come across the line too. Wow, what an interesting second heat that was. Let us know your thoughts on that one, folks. We're going to have some interview now to keep you entertained, but to run you through the full results first before I totally forget how to speak. Brandon McGaughan takes the race win, Sean McClemens in 2nd, Jordan Kelly comes home in 3rd, Conor Meany in 4th, Camto 5th, Dylan 6th, Travis 7th, Harvey Dara in 8th, and it is DeSoswa, Zoutabella, Wynn, McCann, Joyce, Toomey, Gandor, O'Connor, Keane, Smith, Dempsey, and Ken Doyle in 20th position. Then Paolo Klishkan, Ross Wheatley, Queeving Brennan, Lee Cogan, Jared Thornton, Tony Griffin, Sean McGodick, Adam Carney, Lorcan Walsh, and Paul O'Mahony down in 30th position. Let's hear then from your race winner from heat number 2, Brandon McGaughan. Brandon, congratulations. It is another win in this Formula V Championship. Just talk us through that last lap from your eyes.
Yeah, pretty hectic. I mean, this race wasn't as bad. We kind of figured out from the first race, to work together for a bit, keep it a bit safer, and then the last lap we just went for it. So, I mean, I still don't really know if I didn't really set up that strategy. I found myself in 4th, coming out of turn 3 onto the big long run around to the chicane, and the door just kind of opened up for me. Luckily, I was able to get. I wasn't right on the inside, but I was able to just get far enough ahead of Jordan that I could just throw it in the brakes and hope that it cleared him, and it did. Just about worked. So happy it paid off.
From our eyes, like, the whole race looks fairly hectic. It's 3 wide, 4 wide at every given moment. What's it like from the driver's perspective? Are you all fairly calm and used to this now, or what's the situation?
Yeah, I mean, obviously here it seems to be a lot more extreme just because of the the kind of the track. Whereas at Brands Hatch the battling was really good, but not as much was happening. Whereas here it's just you start one lap in 1st and you end up in 5th, so it's still quite calm. We're talking to each other and making sure no one's doing anything stupid early on in the race, so it's nice and calm. And then the last lap, is, as you can see, pretty hairy.
You've to start 8 now, but overtaking not that difficult. What's the approach going to be?
Survive until the last couple of laps. That's all that really matters. As long as you stay with the front group, you're golden.
Well, Brandon, best of luck for heat number 3, and all going well. We'll talk to you again later.
Cheers.
Now let's hear from our Heat 1 winner and 2nd place driver, Sean McClemens, who's going to be joining us now. Sean, long time no see in the commentary box for you. Of course, Heat 1 win last week, Heat 1 win this week, but you've got the podium in Heat number 2. You were driving like you had to drive to Dublin for your emergency last week. Talk us through your approach to sort of the last couple of laps, because Brandon, we heard from his seems to be hang back a little bit. You've been leading. So what's the situation there?
Yeah, like there's no way to gauge what you do here for the last race. Like if you're as long as you're within really the top 5, like anyone's really a winner. Like because there in the first race I was 2nd and or leading kind of the last lap and then won it. Like that time, Brandon was fourth, I think. He won it. Like there's no tactic to it. Like just be in the top five, and then after that, it's pure vibe. Like
Yeah, on the last lap there in heat number 2, we saw sort of Jordan act as a bit of, or you were caught in a little bit of a P trap. Jordan sort of the angle stop. How did you manage to sort of plumb your way through there to get second place?
I just send it and see what happens. Like sure, someone has to back out, and they all know it's not going to be me. Like so.
Have you been practicing answering the phone while not letting Peter McCann hit you in the rear for heat number 3 this week?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just hope when the phone doesn't ring, like she is in the living room this week, so hopefully I don't get a phone call now.
Well, best of luck for heat number 3.
Hey, cheers, Evan.
And now finally, let's hear from Jordan Kelly if we have time. We do. Jordan, just very quickly, what's the plan for taking a win tonight?
I don't know, surviving.
That
I
seems
don't
to
know
be
what.
the general consensus. Is it just a case of hope and pray for the last lap?
Yeah, pretty much. That's a interesting race. I would say it's probably the most unstrategic race I've ever had to do realistically, but it's still good.
Well, we're going to let you go. Get ready for heat number 3. Best of luck, Jordan.
Thanks, Evan.
Mr. Ronan Hederman, any thoughts on the first 3?
I actually think in that second last lap, Sean deliberately did a lift, knowing that this third or fourth car has a pretty good chance of getting the better slipstream and just he was always getting a better exit into that chicane up the hill. So I think it's strategy. It's play your cards right, stay close, but don't make any stupid mistakes and try to just survive, I think.
Yeah, I think, like, as much as they were all sort of joking, saying survive, that does really need to be the case. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have like a fairly lackluster 15 minutes here where they all just try to survive. The first couple of laps might be interesting because we have the reverse grid, which we're going to run you through now. Harvey Dara is on pole ahead of Travis Mawhinney in second. Dylan McClements then in third. Capito is in fourth. Conor Melia fifth. Jordan Kelly sixth. Sean McClement seventh. Brandon McGaughan in 8th, Lawrence in 9th, Jean Zetavella in 10th, Jack Gwynn 11th, and Peter McCann in 12th. The rest of the grid will be as they finished. It's just the top 8 that are reversed for heat number 3 here in RTA. Any predictions, Ronan?
I have my money on Campto. I think he's going to do well here.
Yeah, he's been very smart. And I don't think he's going for race wins, just wants steady results. But he's got to get past Travis Mawhinney now, his scholarship rival. And let's see how Harvey Dara and Travis perform at the front of this order. Some of them starting all the way back on the hill, but Harvey Dara has a clean... Oh, Sean McClements has jumped the start. Oh, dearie me, it's the old demon of the first Formula V season that has come back, and just when things were looking so well for Sean McClements, he's going to bow out early. Disappointing. He might be able to fight his way back, but I highly doubt it, given there's not really a lot of places to make up too much time. But we are, as we were, in towards turn number 3, and Conor Melia and Capito Chukwa side by side. Jordan Kelly is just behind them, and Sean, I wonder, is he going to try to cause a little bit of chaos here in the midfield to allow his brother and Harvey Dara to run away up the front, but we will see. LD is right behind him. Lawrence de Soswa tucked onto the heels of Sean McClements, who in real life Formula V doesn't make the start. In sim racing Formula V starts too early, so a nice middle ground is probably what he's looking for. Dylan McClements side by side with Harvey Dara, and that is the younger of the two brothers into the race lead. Still looking for his first race win of the season, which every time I say it just doesn't feel real for Dylan McClements, given all the winning he did in our last Formula V season. Won the championship. Sean is into the pit lane then. And oh, he almost was definitely not getting that race win. Harvey Dara just locking on to the rear of Dylan McClements' bodywork, and that was almost catastrophic for the young Antrim native. And Harvey Dara, the carter, very used to racing on the bumper of the cart in front. Bit too close for comfort. Bit too close for comfort there. Chance Ozavella right behind Brandon McGaughan. It's not sort of the chaos we usually expect from the reverse grid races, but why would it be? Because it's so easy to overtake here. It's actually too easy to overtake. If you're the defending driver, you certainly want it to be more a little bit more difficult, but nevertheless, Harvey Dara doing a decent job. So is Travis Mawhinney there side by side, and Jordan Kelly is looking for this one. Conor Melia doesn't really have an avenue of attack to approach, and we are 4 wide heading down for a brief second anyways. And Conor Melia has had to check up there, but luckily has Brandon McGaughan and Cam Dutchuk were right behind him. Two drivers who are very aware of sort of the check up into the chicane. It was maybe a more inexperienced runner that might have been a little bit of a collision. But we have almost 10 cars on the screen at one given moment. Now we've certainly got a lot more, and we're looking all the way back to Jamal Gandor in 15th, and then all the way back to Ronan Keane back in 21st, who's just been overtaken by Lee Cogan. We have the top 25 all on the screen at the same time, which goes to show the close quarters racing after 3 minutes here at Road Atlanta. In terms of Heat 3 last week, if you're someone who's into sort of trends or looking at results, it was Jordan Kelly that took the race win, but crucially it was Travis Mawhinney's best result in Heat number 3. He had like a fairly lackluster Heat number 1, which he's had here tonight, had a decent Heat 2, got on the reverse grid, and a very good Heat 3. I wonder will it be something similar. Camto got a podium in Heat number 3 as well, and was nowhere to be found on the podium in 1 and 2. And look at the slipstream here, and I'm not going to make the Moses joke again because it's a little bit overused this season, but like, how easy do you want it? He's just overtook 3 cars on the straight. Travis Mawhinney in the race lead, and that is crazy. And LD and Jack Wynn side by side with Jordan Kelly and Jan Zoutavella. And I wonder what happened, Jordan. Oh, that's what's happened, Jordan. He's got a big wallop to the left-hand side of the car from Jan Zoutavella. Well then, this is getting tasty all of a sudden. Jan and Jordan making contact. LD down the inside of 2 into the final couple of corners, and that was a great move for Lawrence de Soswa, who's another one maybe fighting for his place in the final of the scholarship programme. So it'll be interesting to see. Johnny is saying, will they lap back markers in 20 minutes? Could. Will they? Possibly. Certainly possibly. I think it'll be one of the first times that happens sort of due to the nature of the track rather than like people being in the pits 10 million times or whatever. And like, where do you go if you're Harvey Dara there, who's just parked behind him? We're 3 wide here. We are 3 wide. Travis Mawhinney scooping up a bit of muck, running wide onto the grass, the Brandon McGaughan line. That's not going to work, is it? Surely that doesn't work. 3 wide on exit. Jack Wynn's got a nudge. Round goes Lawrence de Soswa. Round goes Jan Zoutavella. They're sideways on the circuit. Avoiding action needed to be taken. Very disappointing for LD. And oh, someone's gone airborne. Someone definitely went airborne into the barrier there. And I'm sure if we were able to just pan right, we see someone's car just sat. I could have sworn it's on airborne car. Might have been a bit of debris. How disappointing is that for LD and Jan Zoutavella? Paul O'Mahony was involved in that one, is what I'm hearing in my ear from Ronan. But very disappointing. Was not either of their fault. It was just a check-up and nudge. Jordan and Jack Wynn sort of got tangled up, and that resulted in Lawrence de Soswa going round. So the streamer gods favouring Jaxer rather than Mr. Potato Nation. Very disappointing. As we're 3 wide once again, but it's a different, or we're 3 wide and then 2 wide, and Jordan Kelly's pitched for the grass. Now, could we go 5 wide? No, Jordan's backed out. I'd really like to see 5 wide. Camto's disappeared. Is that Camto who's disappeared? No, sorry, it's Brandon McGaughan. McGaughan in the air, and Kelly's made contact with Harvey Dara as well, and now Jack Wynn dives for the grass in the sensible approach, and that has gone very, very wrong. Just survive was the approach from our Heat 2 winner, Brandon McGaughan. He hasn't. He's gone airborne, pirouetted into the barrier, and it is a 10 for McGaughan on the styles side of things, but not on the racing. Let's have a look. So there was an initial nudge for Harvey Dara, and McGaughan blinks. I wonder, was there a bit of blinking? Conor Melia's gone into the chicane. Did he lose it on his own? No, he's been nudged round by Dylan McClements. And then Brandon McGaughan, wow, hops into the air. If there's any Rocket League players in the chat, that was kind of like a double tap of an A or X. Just hopped straight into the air, and wow, that's gone very wrong. Dylan definitely nudged the back of Conor Melia, but Conor has been a little bit slow for the chicane. I wonder, did he check up again, or if it was just Dylan miscalculating sort of the straight line speed he has. But look at this. It is Jack Wynn who is in second place, and hunting his first RTA Virtual Motorsport podium. And I think our stream chat would be sent into raptures if he did, as that's not who I think it is in 9th position. Is that Jamal Gandor who's up into the top 10? It is. It's the Simsa car of Jamal Gandor, the Lebanese Lewis Hamilton, as they call him back in home. I couldn't think of the capital of Lebanon. I couldn't think of the capital of Lebanon. Is it Beirut? I think it's Beirut. That's Jordan Kelly side by side with Jack Wynne. Bit of a nerdy RTA stat. This is the first time 2 cars with yellow wheels have ever ran 1 and 2 in an RTA Virtual Motorsport race. Unconfirmed, but dare I say true. And it is Jack with the slightly lesser but more luminous yellow, more of a yellowy greeny is his brand, where Jordan has sort of the eyesore yellows, more of the Antrim sort of Gaelic football team shirts yellows. And speaking of yellow, it is the banana car of Harvey Dara, who's tucked into the slipstream of Travis Mooney in front. And Jack Wynne leads in RTA for the first time in his RTA Virtual Motorsport career. The 419 just tucks in ahead of Jordan Kelly. And fair play to Jack Wynne, driving very well this evening. And after being milled down the order in the opening race, this could be a very good return. Is he your Gantry TV driver of the day, folks? Get your nominations in. He won it in Donington Park, but nothing that says he can't win again. I don't think we have a regulation for a Gantry TV driver today. We kind of make it up as we go along. Johnny saying, did Connor miss a gear in that earlier collision? Possibly. That's what happened to Peter McCann and Sean McClellan's on the last lap last week, folks. If you remember that incident, we thought it was just a missed bump draft, but it was Sean missed a gear on the straight and Peter just bam into the back of him. Not sure if you heard that sound effect, but that was me punching my desk. As Jamal is up to 8th position. Last time we were here at Road Atlanta, Jamal, I think, spun... What's pi multiplied by like 1 billion? It was whatever that is. He's having a little bit of a revenge tour here. Is Jamal, as Dylan McClemens goes for the race lead, and that is going to be the lead for Jamal. No. No. Sorry, I was on autopilot. Top 10 statements not heard by mankind yet. Sorry, that's the lead for Dylan McClemens. If you're wondering what my brain is going to go through, just speak to yourself for the next hour and see what happens. It's pi with 9 zeros, says Comrade Juice. Thank you. That is so what's that? 3 trillion or something? What's 9 zeros? I know 1 million is 6. I got 100% my math leaving cert as well. Like, this is really concerning. Sort of, that's what university does to you folks. But anyways, I digress once again. So with a lot of random tangents here. That's another maths joke for all of you mathematicians in the stream chat, which I'm sure there are a few of. Not me or Ronan Hederman in the commentary box. 3.14 billion, says Comrade Juice. Thank you very much, Comrade Juice, for that one. It's Jordan Kelly. Goes for the outside here, and Jack Wynne, I tell you what, he's got to get all the elbows out. Brandon said he was nice and cool and composed in these situations, but dare I say there might be a bit of a jittery left foot somewhere in Dublin that belongs to Jack Wynne, as he is able to sweep around the outside. Now we're on board here with Travis Mooney. This is what you would be seeing if you were maybe 5'1" in a Formula V. Some of the taller drivers might see a little bit more, but this is on board with Travis Mooney. This is ironic that this is Ronan Hederman's camera angle of all people, because that man is like the beanstalk from Jack and the Beanstalk in terms of height. I don't know why that's what I went to, but that's how tall Ronan Hederman is. Quite tall, towers over me. Hence why I make these jokes behind a computer and not in person. As Dylan McClemens is still in the race lead here. This is better racing than half the F1 calendar, says Father Damon. I wholeheartedly agree, as maybe not broadcast professionalness, but why would you want that on a Tuesday evening? There are Toomey and Jamal now fighting, and this is a fight that lasted all of a couple of milliseconds in Silverstone when Jamal veered off at a 90-degree angle straight onto the racing line and wrote off Dermot Toomey's virtual Formula V to catastrophic levels and didn't get a penalty for it, which was more impressive because it was not technically reported. As Jordan Kelly is back into the race lead. We're over halfway through this one now, folks. Jack Wynn still up there in the top three. Wouldn't this be a brilliant result for Jack Wynn? Not in terms of sort of the scholarship or any of that sort of thing. In terms of just him getting a podium with all his viewers watching live here on Gantry TV, is Ken Doyle has got a penalty. I'm not sure if that's just a slowdown or he's got a drive-through or something. No, he's got a drive-through, has Ken Doyle. What could that be for? I'm not too sure, but that's a drive-through penalty for Doyle, who has had a disappointing evening. Speaking of disappointing evenings, Lawrence de Soswa could have had a disappointing evening. He's back up into the top 12 here, and he's currently in 12th position. As Comrade Hughes saying, if he does win, you have to make a whinge. Oh, don't you worry. When it comes to cringy commentary lines, I'm your guy. As we're now free wide once again, back down towards the chicane. Why are some of the positions in yellow? Well, that is drivers who are eligible for our RTA Virtual Motorsport Formula V Ireland Scholarship, as Ronan Hederman has just explained slightly quicker than me in the stream chat. So they are the ones eligible for the scholarship and can win the biggest prize an Irish Sim Racing Championship has ever had to offer. Speaking of two of those, it is Campbell Chuckwa and Travis Mawhinney, two of them in the fight, and Jack Wynn takes the race lead once again. It is our top three in terms of point standings for the scholarship, who are top three in terms of this one, as Jordan Kelly has made contact with Campto Chuckwa, and that is a monumental piece of contact for Campto, who has ran uber cool tonight, been so composed. As soon as he gets in a free wide situation, contact, disaster for Campto, who's going to lose big points to Travis here despite running so well. Let's have a look. Was it just Jordan cutting across, or what's the situation? Campto's washed out a little bit, but nothing too major. Jordan's just cut across. I'm not sure he was aware it was free wide or would have got the free wide call, but the Buncrana man and Mead native Campto Chuckwa making big contact. And Travis Mawhinney now crucially goes for the race lead, but he's very slow in the apex, and Jack Wynn says, I'll have a little bit of that. Swoops round the outside. And that is about as good as you're going to get. What a move I hear in the earpiece from Ronan Hederman. Absolutely. And now he's got a bit of a gap. Unfortunately, you can't build a big enough gap around Road Atlanta. But yeah, that is a cracker. And what an ending to this race this could be, because we had sort of the experienced drivers in heat number 1, heat number 2 on the last lap. Not saying that the rest of these guys aren't experienced, but sort of those who are used to close quarter racing for years on end in RTA, who have been doing this sort of stuff since, like, well before I even got on board here with Gantry. But we kind of have a bit of a mix here. And they haven't been in this situation where it all comes down to one chicane, for the most part, in quite some time. The likes of Travis and Brandon were side by side once upon a time, but this is going to be very, very interesting. As Jack Wynn and Dylan McClements side by side. Jordan Kelly is in third position. We are into the final 5 minutes of this one. And this is about as nervy as it's going to get. Are you also sensing a little eeriness in your sitting room or your home office, folks? Because that is what is over Road Atlanta here currently. There's so much on the line for some of these guys, and there's so little for others that they can take big risks, just like Jordan Kelly is. The Formula Ford champion looks for it down the inside, not able to make it, but Jack Wynn is able to defend off, and Peter McCann is in fourth position as well, being absolutely cheered on in the stream chat to almost similar levels that Jack Wynn is. He's had to check up in the number 20. He may take a 1x for that, but I think he was just about over the curb at the right point. Kevin Joyce is in this scholarship fight as well, and if there is anyone in contention, or sorry, I should say, if there's anyone trying to put themselves in contention for the Formula V drive, it's Kevin Joyce. He's doing everything. He's had a total mentality shift in the last few weeks to try and earn the big prize here. But the likes of Jack Wynn, the likes of Travis Mawhinney, they are doing the same thing. So it's not going to come easy for Kevin if he wants to get a big result. Jordan Kelly down the inside of the two of them. Jack Wynn, he's had a wobble. Jack Wynn's had a big wobble, and he's got to be very careful here that there's no contact. Thankfully, he had the experienced Peter McCann behind him, who knew what was happening. Took a little bit of a lift off, but Jack Wynn has fallen to the bottom of the queue, and we said there was going to be a little bit of a jittery left foot for Jack Wynn, and that may just have just about locked the front, drifted him a little bit wide, and that might be the difference between a race win and 7th position here, because he's now fighting side by side with Dermot Toomey. This one's not over, folks. For all the Jack Wynn fans in the chat, this is by no means over, and there is another twist in this fabulous Road Atlanta fairy tale here tonight. Dylan McClements is in the race lead with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Peter McCann finds himself in second. Himself and Jack Wynn both very much up for driver of the day here, I think. Both involved in that same collision in heat number 1, both producing an equally good comeback. In terms of some of the positions gained tonight, folks, I would get a look at it, but my timing screen has decided to stop, so we're going to keep looking at the racing action here as Harvey Dara has gone for a big one, and he's looking for the outside. Peter McCann's up 10 positions. Sean McGoldrick is actually your biggest gainer, up 18, and look how hairy it gets into here. Kevin Joyce just about lifts off at the right point, and then it's hammer the foot down and hope for the best, heading for the final couple of quarters. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go at Michelin Road Atlanta, as it's now known, just north of Braselton, Georgia, 35 miles out of the city of Atlanta. And it is Peter McCann who leads. We mentioned Jamal having a horrid day back in the LMP2 race here. Peter McCann certainly did. He had such a bad day that him spinning through the first corner is our Gantry TV introduction, which you will see at the end of the stream, I believe. Jack Wynn finds himself back up to 5th position, and he just has Jordan Kelly right in front of him. There is a minute and a half to go. One more lap after this one. One very crucial lap in this season in terms of the championship, in terms of the scholarship prizes. You don't want to miss what could be a monumental opportunity here, and Jack Wynn is trying to tee himself up nice for that. You kind of want to be in 3rd position really, heading on to the final lap as we go 3 wide, not once but twice, and Dermot Toomey is just a spectator 4 wide into the braking zone. It is Dara, Kelly, Wynn, Joyce. Kevin Joyce has gone for broke. He's almost taken all of them through that corner. This is unbelievable. Jordan Kelly looks for the move as well. Peter McCann is galloping away in front, like galloping the shops in the Cheltenham Gold Cup. Will he have enough to try and take this one home? It's the final lap of the evening here at Road Atlanta, and what a night it's been. Peter McCann heads through turn number 1 as they're 3 wide in the background. How close can you get? How is there no contact? That is 3 very good wheel-to-wheel races in the form of Jordan Kelly, Kevin Joyce and Dylan McClements. Peter doesn't know what's happening here. He's going, why are they towing me? Kevin Joyce has ran wide in a Crayola livery. He's going to get a slowdown penalty for that one potentially, and that might be that for Kevin Joyce. But he's going to do everything possible to try and bleed it before the start-finish line. Peter McCann is a second in front here. This may be enough for Peter McCann. He might be able to get a win after making collision in heat number 1. And he was only saying to me that he usually picks up a win a season. This could be it. Dylan McClements is giving it gung-ho, and Peter McCann is miles out in front. But look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 almost fighting here. Who's going to come out on top? Who's going to take the podium places? Jack Wynn has made a bit of contact. Jordan Kelly's rotated round. Peter McCann is for the final corners to take the win. He's gained 11 positions in this final race. Absolutely unbelievable. He was 25th in the opening lap in heat number 2. Dylan McClements is going to come home second. Travis Mawhinney is going to come home third. Sean McGoldrick is going to come home in 5th position with a 22 position gain. Jack Wynn, it'll unfortunately only be 6th for him, but he is third of the scholarship runners, so big points nonetheless. But Peter McCann broke the rule there. The rule was you want to be in the toe in the last lap. He goes, no, you boys are all going to just trip over each other. I'm winning this race. And he has done. It's a brilliant win as Conor Melia's got to lead home Ken Doyle for 21st. Conor Melia's championship endeavour has taken a big hit, and that is no, sorry, that's Brandon McGaughan, not Ken Doyle. Wait, Conor's 21st, Brandon's 23rd. There's Ken Doyle behind. Is Brandon could be a lap down there. But it was disaster for them too. What a night of racing, and Peter McCann, wow, took advantage of the melee and takes his first win of the season. Came so close in Donington Park. He's taking the win now. Dylan McClements in second, Travis Mawhinney in third. Then it is Kevin Joyce in fourth, Sean McGoldrick in fifth, Jack Wynn in sixth, Harvey Dara in seventh, Jamal Gandor, best result in a long time for Jamal, in eighth, Dermot Toomey in ninth, Kamto Chukwa recovers to 10th after that dramatic moment, Jordan Kelly in 11th. Lawrence de Sousa with 12, Sean McClemens 13, Tony Griffin in 14, Jared Thornton 15th, Lee Coogan in 16th, Dara O'Connor in 17th, and it was Emma Dempsey 18th, Sean Smith 19th, and Adam Carney in 20th position. And then down the order in 21st, Conor Amelia, Ken Doyle 22nd, 23rd, Brandon McGaughan, Queeveen Brennan 24th, Ross Wheatley, Paula Mahoney, Ronan Keane, Paolo Kishkan, Jante Devella, and Lorcan Walsh. Round us out this evening. Let's hear from your race winner, Peter McCann. Well, Peter, contact in Heat 1, a decent fight back in Heat number 2, and then the win in Heat number 3. When you had that moment with Jack in the first heat, did you picture yourself winning at some point tonight?
No, Evan, I wasn't, but it's been like a thing for me all the way through the series where I have a ridiculous race 1 and a drive back in race 2 and then a podium or a win in race 3. I'll take it. If it keeps coming like this, I'll take them. No problem.
So going on to the last lap, sort of what we've seen in the first heat, the second heat was you want to be, well, second or third, getting in the draft. You decided to lead it. Was that sort of intentional?
I got the run on Dylan with kind of 2 laps to go, and I don't know. I like to take the lead. If I can get it, I'll take it. Me and Dylan were kind of on our own, and when I took the lead, then the rest of the pack caught Dylan, and they started going 3 wide. The next thing I realised, I had a second on the delta, or on my interval to second, and they kept racing. So I kind of knew a lap to go that if they just stayed doing that they weren't catching me. So it's good.
Yeah, it was a case of you were almost wondering where they were on the last lap, and they just never came.
I wasn't even watching the road on the last lap. I was just watching the delta to them the whole way down that straight. I was wishing for that chicane to show up in front of me.
Heading into the final 2 weeks, and you usually pick up form, sort of coming into the final few rounds. Is a couple of wins on the cards?
I think that's 2 now. So yeah, if I got 2 more in the next 6 races, I'll be happy enough. Yeah, if I could stop messing up race 1, I think I'd go a lot better.
I can't award you driver of the day yet because our stream chat is still fighting it amongst yourself and Jack. But a brilliant comeback, Peter, and congratulations on the win.
Fair play. Thanks, Evan.
Now, let's bring in second place, Dylan McClemens. Dylan, congratulations. A podium in heat number 3. But you must be wondering, when is the win going to come?
I think it's really hard to get a winner in here. Especially like any track, to be honest. I think probably my only chance if it's a wet race or because the two's that big. You just in that last, even the first cup races, is like big grip of 8, and then obviously the chaos comes from that as well.
Yeah, you were kind of the only one from, say, the Heat 1 and Heat 2 battle to almost make it to the end there in Heat number 3. Was it literally just a case of try and survive, or was there any sort of tactics behind what we've seen?
Well, I was just trying to survive. I think it was the second race. We all just worked together, pull a bit of a gap. I think we gained 2 seconds, but then the last couple of laps we were losing like 2 seconds a lap. So I think we only really had the tactics the second race, but as soon as the reverse grid comes in and people you haven't been racing with, and yeah, you're not really as organised. So it's all hell for this.
Of course, not really in championship contention, given, well, mostly how many times you've been punted more than anything. You're not in the scholarship either, because you're still somehow too young. Is the next few weeks for you going to be, well, actually tell us what sort of your approach for the next few weeks is going to be to keep up the motivation?
Wow, I think it's quite clear I don't really have a championship, but I don't know, I suppose you can never do, because you see now I got wiped the cup races and it could happen with the leaders as well, but I'm just going to try play my best. I'm not even going to look towards the championship. Actually, I'm looking forward to the next season after winning 2 seasons full of V's now.
Yeah, you must be sick of the thought of V's in your house these days. But congratulations, Dylan, on the podium, and it's good to have you back up fighting at the sharp end regularly.
Yeah, cheers. See you later.
And now our final interview of this evening. Let's hear from Travis Mawhinney. Travis, congratulations. The trend for you over the last couple of weeks has been maybe a bit of a lackluster Heat 1, but Heat 2 and especially Heat 3, you've really turned it on. Does the longer 20-minute races suit you best?
I like to think so, yeah. Heat 1 and 2 was a little bit of a disappointment because in race 1 I got taken out by Pavlo at one of the blind right-handers, and then race 2 just completely lost the gap to the front of the guys. But race 3, it did work out in my favor in some way. I was trying to be cautious, but at the same time, we're still finding the win at some stage. So, I mean, kind of mixed, to be honest, with the results today, but I'm just hoping to get the lead. I don't know if I'm leading at this stage, but it's just want to keep my head down and go from there.
Yeah, of course, you came into tonight as the championship leader. I can't imagine it being much of a change because Campto sort of had an up and down night as well. Talk us through your approach the next few weeks then to keep the hammer down, basically.
I did see that with Camto behind me getting hit by some. I forgot who it was because everyone was going free wide. Anyway, really the main aim for the last few rounds is just to keep my head down and get some good results without getting involved in any havoc. That's my main aim going to these final few races. It's going to involve luck at the same time, especially with the technical corners, because it's totally going to make up your qualifying going into your races. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to keep the head down, and that's about it.
Do you think we're going to see Travis Mawhinney on the Formula V Ireland grid at some point this season?
I really like to hope so. Yeah, definitely.
Well, Travis, best of luck with the next couple of weeks, anyways. And at the rate you've been going, I imagine I'll be talking to you before the end.
All right, cheers, man. Thank you.
So good to hear from our podium drivers there. Now is the difficult point of the evening where we look at driver of the day. Let's have a look at some comments then, see if we get almost a little bit of a tally going. Johnny saying driver of the day, Peter. Sam saying driver of the day, Peter. Father Damon saying driver of the day, Jack. Kevin saying driver of the day, Jack. Sean McGoldrick saying Peter. Sean McGoldrick, if it was just off Heat 3, a big contender for that one as well, gaining 22 positions. I am Lee saying Peter driver of the day. Sean McClemmons saying Sean McClemmons driver of the season, actually, but I'm sure that's a typo. And that is it. Ronan Hederman, I don't know if you have any thoughts. I would probably lean towards the side of Peter.
Yeah, I would be of the same, as much as it would pain me to, considering I like to give him as much shtick as possible. But yeah, I think we're going to give it to Peter.
Oh, same, of course, but you have to tip your hat when it comes to it, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Peter McCann, your Gantry TV driver of the day for tonight. Congratulations, Peter, for that one and for the win in Heat number 3. Well, folks, that is all we have time for, really, here tonight on Gantry TV. Here's our calendar. So, next week, it's not Hockenheim. I apologise, folks. We head to Japan, to Okayama, which is always a great race in single-seaters. Formula Fords, Formula Vs, Skip Barber, always very interesting. So, not that the real Skip Barbers goes to Japan, but it's a simulator. So make sure you tune into that on the 10th of February. Then 17th of February, we head to Hockenheim, and the 24th of February, we're back stateside to Sebring, which is a very interesting one for Formula Vs. So I look forward highly to that one. So make sure you join us next week, folks. 9 p.m. Irish time, British time. Father Damon, I'm not too sure what it is for you, but same time as this week. A big thanks to our sponsors, and make sure to check out our website, rtavirtualmotorsport.com, if you want to get a clue in on the standings and sort of penalties handed out and all that jazz. Make sure to check it out there. And a big thanks to our sponsors, Gamerfest, of course, as well as Mondello Park. And a big thanks to Ronan behind the scenes, who brought you all these lovely pictures. A lot less work goes into me shouting at the pictures than it goes into bringing you the pictures, folks. So a big appreciation for what Ronan does, always to be found. And a big thanks to you, folks, for watching us here on Gantry TV, as always. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Ronan is saying in my ear that I forgot. I technically sponsored this as well. So big thanks to Bois Motorsport, me. Big thanks to me for all the not so hard work that I put in. But you know, if you want to check out the page, you can do. If you want to advertise on the page, definitely do. Anyways, nevertheless, thank you very much for watching, folks. We shall catch you next week in Okayama. Have a great week. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time. Long ago.